we've known for a while now that sodium has been in the kind of scope of the health department. Why are nutritionists on the bandwagon talking about sugar now?
Well, sugar, just recently a study came out in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition stating that it is, in fact, an addictive substance. The language you described to when you have a sugar addiction is sugar high, sugar low, sugar crashes, cravings, withdrawals. It's very, very difficult to get off sugar. So we are, in fact, highly addicted to sugar, and that is a huge problem because sugar literally affects every area of our health. So we really need to educate ourselves, and there needs to be specific key strategies implemented to reduce the amount of sugar consumption that we are taking in.
Vanessa, before we talk about the preventable cancers, is there a concept of good sugars and bad sugars? Are we talking about all sugar?
Well, we're talking about processed sugar, highly refined processed sugar, all the things that you find in processed goods, in fizzy drinks, cookies, cereals, chocolates. That's the kind of sugar we're talking about. We're not necessarily talking about fruit sugar unless you're consuming copious amounts of fruit juice, but we're talking about the heavily processed, chemically laden foods that we're all consuming every day.
In the intro, we talked about preventable cancers. Just highlight some of these cancers that has now been proven scientifically that if the high consumption of sugar can lead to.
Well, sugar suppresses the immune system. So one of the things that cancer is your body's inability to function at its peak. And because we all have cancer cells. And sugar feeds cancer cells. Cancer cells have got about 18 more glucose receptors than normal cells. And they literally grow and feed on sugar. So the more sugar you feed, you consume, the chances of your cancer count going up is extraordinarily high. Things like diabetes, for example, affect your liver, your pancreas, which also can, affect your immune system, which can lead to certain types of cancer. But really, sugar suppresses the immune system, and with any disease, you really need to increase your immune function.
We're waging a war on high sodium content in foods. We're now going to wage a war on high sugar content in foods. At what point do we put the responsibility on the consumer? Where do we create the awareness around this and say, okay, guys, where do we draw the line? That's what I'm asking. Where do we draw the line?
Absolutely. I really think that we as individuals need to take responsibility for our health. Our health is literally in our hands. We can, on a government level, have educational strategies. A sugar tax, for example, will be part of a small part of a comprehensive strategy. Mexico, for example, has just implemented last month a soda tax. In Mexico City, there's these billboards with people with amputated feet and legs to show these are the effects of diabetes. We do need to be educated, but at the end of the day, we need to take responsibility for our health, invest in our health, get the correct information. And obviously, food companies, there need to be strategies to, for example, make healthier food less expensive and bad food more expensive. But ultimately, we need to take responsibility for our health.
Quick question, sugar cravings. And I've heard you mention fizzy drinks. We talk about consumer. But talk to me about how the cravings work. Is that because you're already addicted to it, or we have an unhealthy relationship with sugar?
Well, it is an addiction. It's a biochemical, biological addiction. So it's very difficult to get off sugar. We all know at 4 o'clock we feel like, we need a chocolate or a stimulant of some kind. That's got to do with our blood sugar levels. So it takes about 4 to 5 days to get off sugar, to desensitize to sugar. But during that time, you feel really, tired, you feel irritable, all the detox symptoms of sugar, and your body needs to almost reset. So the sugar cravings are very much a biological addiction. And something that we all experience because it's very difficult to just stop sugar cold turkey.
Very quickly, government has tabled the sodium issue as a high priority. What is the next level for nutritionists? What do we expect government to do? What are you guys going to do? What's the next rollout?
Well, I believe in education at a school level, community initiatives, campaigns that actually teach people how to eat, because we don't know what to eat. There's too much information with diets and weight loss, and we actually don't know how to eat for health. And that's something that we need to implement, is strategies to educate people what is healthy food, how to even grow your own food, fruit, vegetables, subsidize farmers to be able to produce organic foods and make foods healthier. So that's sort of where I see it going.
Vanessa, we're going to leave it there, but thank you very much for joining us from our Cape Town studio.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
That's nutritionist Vanessa Ascencao talking to us about